Wow. Class of 2009. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, friends, relatives, administrators, EHS orchestra, distant cousins, lady from El Chico's, Big Four, the cop from Highway 82, Joe the plumber. I think that should include everybody. Wow. Thank you all for being here tonight. To see a huge crowd at a football game is understandable, but to see a larger crowd at an academic event is inspirational. It is because of all you hear tonight and the importance that you place on education that you see such a large class graduating tonight. If it were not for your love and support, we would not be here this evening. In a few moments, these students will cross the distinct line that separates the children from the adults. Thank you all for coming out to witness this extraordinary event and to experience the graduation of the greatest class in El Dorado High School history, the class of 2009. Yay! Oh, and before I continue my speech, Ms. Reeby, do you have any announcements to make? Are you sure? Are you sure? Mr. Dawson? Where's Mr. Dawson? Any from the guidance office? Okay, just checking. I don't want any interruptions in my speech. As I was saying, this night is a time of celebration of the future, but we cannot forget the events of our past. I'm not saying that we should dwell upon the past. It is not the past that defines us, but it is our past experiences that shape us into the women and men we are today. Class of 2009, we should always learn from and never forget the events of our past. While thinking of what to include in my speech, I recalled how significantly the events of my past have shaped me. About 4 years ago, you could call me the stereotypical nerd, no doubt. I worked on homework nonstop. I lacked all physical and social skills. And other than Mario and Pikachu, I never spent much time with close friends. On one occasion, my dad answered our phone and found that a girl from school was calling for help on homework. I remember him covering up the receiver with his hand and then yelling across the room, "Kevin, it's a female!" You can tell it didn't happen often. And to my embarrassment, I discovered that muffling up the receiver isn't all too effective, as the girl confronted me about it the next day. But I'm not the same person I was 4 years ago. I've come to be well-rounded in all areas of life. Through specific community service events, competitive sports, and friendships, I've grown to venture out of my shell, and as most of you already know, today I bench press 300 pounds and get calls from ladies all the time. Just like me, I know all of you have similar stories of how moments in your past have changed your lives. Class of 2009. Now is the time to reflect on our past here at El Dorado High School. A few of you may not agree, but the truth is that our experiences at El Dorado High School have transformed our lives. They have strengthened us and taught us that every moment, both good and bad, is a learning experience. To begin with, I would like to give you some words of wisdom that our beloved substitute teacher of 2 years, my mom, always gave me. Oh man, this is really long. Let's just skip the quote. Anyhow, I was saying that there is much to learn from every moment we have had. In the 9th grade, we were jittery, scared, going through puberty, acne-plagued, and were certain that no matter where we walked or how fast, everyone was staring and laughing at us. After searching the campus a week for the infamous swimming pool and elevator, we discovered that not everyone in the senior class could be trusted. Yes, growing up can be tough, but our freshman experience taught us that if we persevere and continue through life's tough moments, life in the future will be so much brighter. Of course, not all of our memories at EHS are bad. Remember the pep rallies and homecomings? Remember lining up on the field with our teammates for game days? How could we forget those friendships? And most of all, who can forget the kindness at our school and Murphy Oil have shown us. The other day I asked Miss Corbis if we could have a free day in class, and I remember feeling stupid as she jokingly replied, "Kevin, every day in public education is free." But it was not a joke. It's absolutely true that every day of our public education, and not to mention the El Dorado Promise, have been 100% free. We did not attain these by our own work. They're given to us. We should always make the most of our education, the promise, and every gift of grace bestowed upon us. Finally, before I close, I would like to leave you all with advice that is very dear to me. As we have spoken of significant past events, I saved one important moment in my life to conclude this speech. This moment is a crucial part of my life. It brought my world crashing down around me. It was one that brought me to my knees to ask, "Why, God? Why did you allow this to happen?" Only a few of you know the event because it is so personal, but I desire to tell you what I learned from it and how it has forever changed my life. 2 years ago, at the age of 16, there was an incident in my career as a lifeguard that called for me to rescue a little girl from the bottom of a pool. When I had retrieved her, she was unresponsive, and so I performed CPR until paramedics arrived and took over. Later that evening, my parents received a phone call that the little girl did not make it. And as I lay in my bed that night, reflecting upon the day's events, I realized that I had held precious life in my hands. Precious life. And I understood just how short and uncertain life really is. And if there is anything I've learned from this experience, it is to never let things get in the way of the plans God has for me. As a wave tossed in the ocean or a vapor in the wind, life can be gone in only a moment. And so tonight, class of 2009, I tell you, don't ever waste this precious life that you have been given. Don't focus upon the things that are negative or give in to the meaningless, momentary pleasures of this world. You know what they are. Put them behind you. Don't allow them to control your life. Rather, focus upon the things that are true, pure, lovely, admirable, and praiseworthy. And seek your divine purposes, your God-given purposes. If you don't, you'll find yourself pursuing empty things that will never satisfy you. And in the end, your life will be utterly wasted. Seek your divine purposes, and I promise you, you will not be dissatisfied. Class of 2009, never forget the moments you spent here at El Dorado High School, for it is true that every moment in your past shapes your life. Every experience, both good and bad, is a life lesson. My friends, I love every one of you, and I pray for your success and happiness. Thank you, and may the grace of our loving God be with you always.
Glad I get to follow that.